I come from the generation that thought a woman could change a man. In the fall of 1963, I was 18 years old and in the 11th grade in a high school in central Georgia. I was excited. School had started and I had a real boyfriend, Billy. I loved being part of a couple and falling in love for the first time. I thought of all those movies I had watched growing up and imagined myself the star. Billy was a handsome senior on the basketball team, and my parents didn't like him. He seemed ideal. School was wonderful, as well as all the extras like the sock hops and riding around town with the windows down and going out to Thornton's Dairy Bar for ice cream cones. In those days, we didn't really notice that all the experiences we had were with white people. We accepted the segregated culture that we had been born into. Yet things were seething underneath. John Kennedy had been elected in 1960 to the applause of many, many Southerners. But by now, people wanted him to stand back from trying to integrate America, no matter the law. Billy and I had repeated arguments about progress and what constituted real progress. My parents believed in the equality of all people and were against violence, but racism seethed all around us, even among our extended family members. One morning in November of 1963, I woke up sick with a sore throat. Thankfully, my parents said I could miss that day of school, and they went off to their respective schools with my brother and my grandmother. I went back to bed for a while, reading and sleeping. I knew Billy would call me on his lunch break from the phone near the front office. I sipped hot tea and ate a can of chicken noodle soup with saltines. When the phone rang, I dragged myself from the sofa to the wall phone in the kitchen and croaked, "Hello." Billy shouted, "They shot the president. That in-loving son of a bitch, they shot him right in the motorcade." And then Billy laughed. "What did you say? Where?" "Dallas, Texas. They shot him right in that fancy convertible. There was blood everywhere." I felt sick all over. I felt shaky. I felt scared. And I felt so mad. Damn, Billy. I needed my friends at school at that moment. Why did I have to be home alone when this was going on? "They let us have the televisions on. Turn yours on now. You can see the whole thing." And so it began. The days and nights of continuous coverage, of televising the unbelievable. We watched replays of Walter Cronkite using his handkerchief and speaking hoarsely, announcing the unthinkable. The president was dead. And another thing that began that day for me was that I felt different about Billy. I wasn't going to be able to stay with him much longer. I started thinking about, why do girls and women stay with men whose value differences are so pronounced? What trade-offs do we accept that do our deep selves no good? Billy and I fought more and more in the days to come over his male chauvinism and his possessiveness, and I fought more and more with my parents about him. I was tired, but scared to be alone. During basketball season, Billy started seeing another girl. When I found out, I retaliated and got another date. The explosive breakup happened very quickly. I felt wounded and very unsure of myself. Yet I was also somehow relieved. The world was changing and I wanted to be a part of it. I was still a teenager, but I had learned already that life could be ugly and that living it was way harder and more complicated than trying to change a man.